Right, I'm videoing this simply because without video nobody would believe me. This is a Perkins engine that's sitting in a yacht, 4236 standard marine Perkins, and it was sent away to have to be redone. Sleeves, bearings, it gave 17,000 hours. This guy bragged that he could do it in 3 days and have it all painted and ready and bench tested. Nothing like that happened. It was 3 weeks when I got there. There would have been another 3 weeks if I hadn't gone to check up to see what was happening. I installed the engine, fixed up all the other stuff that I had to sort out on it. It doesn't even have gaskets on the manifold. And we're not going to talk about the engine. This is about the gearbox. This is the gearbox. You'll notice the gearbox is nice and dirty. And this is how these people work. Dirty bolts, all different sizes. There they are. Interesting. They installed this gearbox, and when I started up the engine ready for my Valentine's Day cruise, I didn't have any drive. I didn't understand why, so I took the gearbox off. Here's the reason why. This is, I just want to position this light. This is the plate that gets fixed onto the engine itself. This is the flywheel. It gets fixed onto the flywheel. That there is where the keyway, where the spindle of the gearbox, that is this thing. That's where this fits into. They assembled this engine, believe it or not. They assembled this engine with this thing being loose. Not hooked on. You can see where the bolts are supposed to go, right there. It wasn't hooked on, it was laying like this. So in other words, this was laying like that in the engine. So there was the engine with this. There was the gearbox with this. They bolted the gearbox onto here without even trying to fit the gearbox into there. Or if they did, they spent a lot of time lining this up so it fits on to the gearbox. But of course it's loose, so it just fell down. Fortunately, when I ran the engine, there didn't seem to be any damage. And because there was no damage, it means that it wasn't even fitted on. Because if it was fitted on and it came off, it would have destroyed, or it would have damaged the ends of those keyways, that spindle there, that where it slides in and out. Now, it is inconceivable how anybody can do such a thing. Put a gearbox onto an engine when the basic principle of getting drive from the engine to the gearbox has not been dealt with. This man is a professional, puts himself forward as a professional, represents himself like that, induced me into doing the business with him. 3 weeks of business lost. I'm working my backside off trying to be ready for the next charter, otherwise he's going to be up for that as well. I think this kind of behavior, in other countries it's called an inducement, fraudulent non-disclosure, misrepresentation and fraud. It's criminal. And I do not understand why people in Richards Bay tolerate this kind of thing and don't do anything about it. I, of course, am going to change that culture now.